Do we need to trust those who use epithets when reporting the news? If you've ever experienced reading the news, you might notice how different newspapers refer to other sources of information, such as insider information, for example. The news bulletin is supposed to be a list of dry facts about what just happened. Commonly, people who are reporting the news are called newsreaders. Meanwhile, journalists are commonly those who collect, show, and share the information that they find in origin or primary sources, surveys, witnesses, police stations, and different datasets. A journalist and a newsreader may also be a single person. People who analyze what has happened are called differently. Political scientists, if there is news related to politics, economists, if the topic is relevant, biologists, engineers. These are making judgments, conclusions based on given facts and analysis of them. We can suggest that their word is asked because they are scientists in the majority, those who work as researchers, trying to understand the whole situation using different big and small pure details, understand reason, and try to prognosticate the consequences. It was bad. The language of news rarely may be hard to understand, so generally we may have an overview of present times if we hear words like an explosion, a murder, a car accident, demonstrations, meetings of public officials, inflation, an assertion, and so on. When the scientists come, they may use more complicated language that may be not familiar to us. Let's now discuss the narrative language. As long as the narrative language is supposed to hold the interest of the reader by using expressive and figurative language, it may use value judgment. To recognize this language, we may pay attention to the emotion of the text. If it has it because of the special expression words, it most likely tries to alter the information rather than use it directly. Epithets are words with a connotation. The great word. The great is an epithet. Usually it is interpreted as showing the size of the event, damages, and people who were engaged, not for showing the beginning of the franchise. Epithets, as the Greek terminology determines, are given to add or to put on. In addition to discussing the distinct feature of the language, I must notice that the value judgment, in other words, is an opinion. Unlike judgment, an opinion is a belief. This is a conclusion based on facts and beliefs. In most cases, the opinion appears biased. It does not reflect the original information, rather it assigns a value to it. In the quality of bias, there may appear two best friends: emotions and feelings. Opinion isn't necessarily backed by feelings, but judgment never does. So why do news use this language and connotations? The battle for man's mind is as old as human history. Long story short, propaganda is a strong tool for focusing the reader's interest on a specific point by hiding or adding some different points. The narrative language has just the same determination and purpose. Connotations may help create the required favorable impression. It may help to make the audience cry or laugh, to be empathetic, angry, or excited. The person doesn't necessarily need to hear the value judgment to have emotion. The dry fact of some tragedy can do this job without any help. If the text has an emotion, it uses epithets. If this practice is used while making news, newswriters may be suspected of misrepresenting the truth as long as they try to alter it. Adding to my previous point, epithets may be hidden in a professional way, but some are really loud as oxymorons. Paradoxical phrases, conjunctions of two contradictory terms, negative growths, loyal opposition, the greater half, the development with the negative dynamic. Is it advantageous to anyone if I think that way? This question may help you to catch the moment when you suspect something or someone in particular to play on your feelings. I don't try to talk you to become engrossed in conspiracy and say that the whole world, influenced by the world government, is trying to deceive you. Well, if you want, you're free to. I want to say that the propaganda in any way will always try to play on your feelings, to turn your opinion in the favor of those who produces this propaganda. This thing was created for that purpose. And I also want to say that there is another way for observing without these value judgments mixed with facts. If you delete the epithets, you still have the judgment with its truth. If you misrepresent the fact, you lose the truth. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you next time. Bye bye.